All right, greetings from the wasteland. This is Freedom Phil, and what's the topic today? A guy pointed this out previous stream, and I thought it was interesting. They always just cite this line: "Crime was higher in the '90s." I don't know if I believe that. Maybe in the inner cities, the gang violence is worse, but you're still seeing people shooting people on a regular basis. I mean, if you look at the numbers, you could say how many murders, homicides, and you could say there were probably more at a certain point. But overall in America, is crime lower now than it was back then? Or are we just not reporting it accurately? Are we massaging the statistics? Where am I going with this? Freedom Phil, like, subscribe. And hey, when I say turn up the video speed, that's literally the instruction. My name is what to do. When I upload this, you should be watching it 1.75. Let's get into it. Like, subscribe. By the way, you want to be talking? Hit the subscribe button. After about a minute, start yakking. It's like this. I've heard that line over the years, but there's a new trend that you see happening more and more. We just don't report it as crime anymore. Well, what do you mean? Back in the day when you stole something from a store, it was a simple crime of theft, right? Well, how many of these cities, these urban leftist cities, they consider if it's under like $900, it ain't a lot of them, but it's enough of them to be noticeable. They make a theft of under $900 a catch and release. Well, there wasn't a crime here. Really? The person robbed something, they stole something, somebody had something, and now they don't. But see, it's not a crime because we made it not a crime. We made stealing not a crime. You realize for under $900 how many things you can buy? Like, you know, like you could like whole ass, huge ass TVs are under $900. Like, I think you could get a TV the size of a sheet of plywood for under $900. Now, I'd have a hard time believing some criminal be walking out with that. But stuff like, you know, expensive food, baby formula, diapers. You know the reason that we have to have in these cities a world where you used to be able to just go pick up the cologne where the cologne is, and now you got to wait for somebody to show up. By the way, we're all being punished every fucking day that we have to sit there and wait. Somebody has to come over, open the case, then hand you the product while you're on camera, because apparently crime isn't a problem in these cities. Crime's lower than in the 90s. You go look at Detroit. Is Detroit still having the murder capital? Is Milwaukee still a place where lots of people are dropping dead? What about Chirac? Or the toilet bowl of the whole system, Memphis? Just like you go in some of these cities where they're hanging out crack pipes. You know, back in the day doing, like, I get weed should be legal and maybe mushrooms. Mushrooms for some people. Some people can't handle mushrooms. But you go back in the day and you see the difference, you know, back when hard drugs were illegal, were people getting arrested for hard drugs? Oh, we just made it not a crime, just like we did with the theft. We have less crime. No bullshit. Everybody can see with their own plain eyes. Like your propaganda, your massaging of the statistics do not change what people are living on the ground in these cities. Yo, don't listen to your lying eyes right in front of you while someone's robbing a 7-Eleven. Some kids go in there and flash mob in there, grabbing chips and soda and shit and malt liquor. And they flash mob out of there. Oh, I guess that person at that 7-Eleven, the person who owns that store, that might be shutting it down. That wasn't theft. That wasn't a crime. Oh, they were appropriating those Doritos. That Colt 45. Y'all don't hear me? They massage the statistics. There's also a factor. Some have said that the increase in abortion in poor communities of birth control and abortion is producing less fuck shit people. I'm sorry to be rude about that, but when you raise a kid in a single mother house home, no stable daddy, or like that, what was that? Don't be a menace while you're drinking juice in the hood. And kids, what do you say when a nice man shows up? Are you my daddy? Y'all remember that? That's from way back. You have a situation where these kids that might have been born into a poor situation aren't being born into it. So there is that factor as well. But I would argue we have more crime now. They just don't report it. And here's another thing they do with crime, massaging the statistics. Notice when it's a white man, they are quick to say a white male, blah, 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 this tall, blah, 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 eye color, this, and hair. But when it's a black man doing something crazy, a man did something, a person did something. You know why they do that? Because then when people would say, hey, there's some crazy things happening with this particular whatever group. Well, no, it's a male problem. You see this same shit going on in Europe, the UK. They'll say a male. And they got away from saying South Asian male. By the way, we shouldn't say South Asian. A lot of times, let's just be honest, a Muslim male raped a woman in the park. Oh, did I use a naughty word there using the R word? But they'll say a male, something happened. Oh, tip. Why are we being taken over? Like I did that whole conversation earlier. They basically sit there and try to say, no, it's a male problem. When 2/3 of the SA, the sexual assaults that are happening, are coming from that particular community over in jolly old England. Now, what about in the cities where, no offense, I ain't got nothing against black people, white, black, whatever. I just think people are people. But 50% of the murders, over 50% are coming from what, 13% of the population, and a small part of that population. Much as like what Asmongold has said, there's about 2 to 3% of the population that causes all the fucking problems we got to deal with. Now, they do everything in their power to massage those statistics to where they'll try to say it's a male problem. And then they'll try to say, well, see, white males did this or blah, blah, blah. I ain't letting white males off the hook. You see a lot of fucking meth heads out there stealing shit. Broke ass people. You know? And how many crimes go unreported? Just because the cops ain't going to do shit. Like, you ever had a car stereo get stolen? A buddy of mine, ages ago, this is a long time ago. His car's out in front of his house. Some fucking person breaks in, steals it, and there's a greasy handprint. Like, you can't get prints from the handprint right there. It's right there. Oh, no, we don't really do much with these. They even told him, if we get it back, if you got the identification number on it, we could, if we get it back, you come down and pick it up. But we usually don't really investigate these crimes. They literally told my buddy that. Translation. At that point, why do you even have the police? These are the same people in these same Democrat cities, by the way, that tell you, no, you can't have a gun. No guns here, except for the criminals all got them. So you see people out there wiling out, whether it's robbing people, shooting people, raping people. Some pedos out doing their shit. And they just don't report it. It's the same tactic they used with illegal immigration, all through Bush, all through Obama. And they were trying to do it during Trump. Trump setting up that wall really made a difference. But under Biden, they just said, fuck the wall. Hell, we're just let them in. Oh, it's not illegal. Just put them on a bus and ship them to the Midwest. Put them on a bus and ship them somewhere. And that was all good and fine until they put them on a bus and shipped them to Margaret's Vineyard. Oh, then numbers mattered. Oh, we can't have all these poor brown people around. Because that's how they view it. Oh, no, see, you need to speak proper English. Matt, it's amazing how many of these Democrats, when you start offending them in their communities, they understand crime and punishment real fucking quick. And let's talk about another thing. What about the prison system? They gave lengthy sentences to people and they use them as cheap prison labor. Why don't you look into some of your nice little, lefty style grocery stores like Whole Foods and some of these others? How many of them are using under the table like prison labor, basically slave labor? We got a real issue with that in America. Fucking corporations exploiting people like that. Like, I think you should be doing something in prison, but goddamn, it should be for the benefit of some big corporation. No, they massage the crime statistics to tell you that the cities aren't as bad as they are. They do it every goddamn day. And then you're just expected, nod your head and do the little clapping seal thing. Yep, 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 yep. Now, anybody with two eyes can see it. When you're literally, like I said earlier, they're giving out fresh needles and brand new crack pipes in little bags because the drugs ain't illegal anymore. But what about all the shit that people are doing to get the drugs? They are literally manufacturing these problems, and then when the problems happen, they ignore the problem. They catch the criminal, release the criminal, or the cops just putting their hands in the air and they said, well, hard drugs ain't a crime here anymore. So, fuck it. And honestly, you can't get someone to detox who doesn't want to. But I'll tell you what, one thing that made this entire problem on the streets as bad as it is when they started giving people money for crazy checks. Because they realized it was cheaper to give someone $1,000 a month than it was to give somebody, if you incarcerate somebody. It was a problem that was left when they kicked all the people out of the insane asylums. It was unconstitutional to incarcerate some of their whole life because they were weird. But then these people can't function in society, end up on the streets. And they end up in prison. And it costs way more to keep them in prison. But then what ends up happening is when they're out on the streets, they just give them $1,000 a month. $1,000 a month ain't going to get you off the streets. But I'll tell you what it will do. If you live in a tent, it'll buy you a lot of drugs, a lot of hard liquor. You get that EBT, you get a lot of good food. Hit up that soup kitchen for breakfast and lunch. Grab a bag of bagels. You got your food. You got $1,000. You living good. You're high as a kite in a tent. Down by the river. No, they massage the crime statistics. They massage the homeless statistics. They only show you what they want you to see. And they do that purposely. And by the way, I love y'all, but if you want to be talking, you need to be a subscriber. And they'll be like, why? Why do I got to subscribe? Well, why do I got to read your comment if you ain't a subscriber? Come on, man. It's a two-way street. No offense. I've just seen this crap for years. And once you start, it's like once you understand how a pattern works, once you see it, you can't unsee it. Yeah, you're right. It's the Democrats. And I'm saying it. The Republicans got their problems. The Republicans run a better system. But I'll be real about it. They also set up the system to basically where it benefits the corporations more than the people. I mean, the fact that I can't go out and just build an earth shelter out of like old tires, stuffing them full of dirt and then putting the stucco on the outside. So my thermal mass built into a hill. The fact that I can't just buy some land and build something that is actually structurally stronger than most conventional builds. I'll criticize the Republicans and the Democrats for that. But when I look at the crime and I look at the drug use and I look at all the people faking crazy, living in tents, and then fucking junkies running around stealing shit out of people's tool sheds and stuff like that, or homeless crackheads like losing their fucking minds and shit, people shooting people, and then the fact that they try to hide most of it. Crime is lower than it was in the 90s. Bullshit. Let me tell you how you know it ain't lower. Maybe in the hood, it was worse back in the day. But now all the problems of the hood are fucking everywhere. They're everywhere. The problems that used to only exist in Seattle are now out on the peninsula. Yeah, we always had drug addicts. We always had them. But back in the day, those old stony smokers, they'd be working down at the fish plant. They'd be working at the shake mill, like making cedar shakes. They'd be working, cleaning up sawdust at the mill. They had jobs. and they had affordable apartments. They weren't living on the streets. These problems that were manufactured in the cities are now exported everywhere else. And just to close it out, maybe I'll tell you guys this story down the road. But there's an old legend that Seattle used to take the homeless people and bus them up and ship them out to the Olympic Peninsula and just dump them out there. And back then, they could get a job working at a mill. Shit, wouldn't surprise me at all if that's what they're doing now. They're just taking their homelessness like a pox, like a pustule, and they're fucking spreading it to other people. Spreading it to other cities. A city that's doing good. Hey, we need to get rid of some of my homeless people. Ship them up to Bellingham. Ship them down to Olympia. Olympia's always been a shithole, by the way. Don't get me wrong, there's some nice parts of Olympia, but ship them out to Lacey. You got those Chimicum tweakers. Look out. Shelton tweakers. Now we got fentanyl benders out there in Port Angeles and Forks. Forks is in the middle of fucking nowhere. And they got some of these problems. These problems were made in the cities through Democrat policies. And now they're everywhere. They massage the crime statistics to make it sound like it isn't as bad as it is. Don't let what they say deceive your lie. There's be like your eyes are lying to you. Don't let them try to pull that move on you. This is Freedom Phil. That's my thoughts. Peace. Corgi.